The gameplay you're watching or the build which I'm gonna showcase is tested in the hardest content ever played in the Destiny 2, either in the Grandmaster Nightfalls or in the Master Law sectors. Make sure to try this build and do let me know your opinions. This shield guy has full HP. Can I kill him? By the way, this is Grandmaster Nightfall, and if you guys think this build is worth to try, please do stay till the end. Now, without any further ado, let's get into the build. The gameplay loop is pretty simple. Our target is to inflict jolt and get the jolted kills. Firstly, we start with our melee and jolt the targets around us. Get the jolted kills, trigger bolt charge. Triggering bolt charge heals us as well as attacks and another source of damage become amplified. Dodge again and again proc your melee, again get the jolted kills. Some artifact perks which greatly enhances our super regen, and we're also gonna introduce strand into our build, especially the threadlings and the unraveling rounds, which acts as another damage source of our build. So this is the rough idea how our gameplay loop looks like. Now let's start with our complete build. Let's start with our build. Now for the exotic chest piece, we are going to use RADIENT FLUX because that's what gives us the extra super damage for around 75%. We are going to pair that with an artifact perk named as Winning Break. That gives us an extra 30% super damage. So now we are having a total of around 105% extra super damage. That's like almost doubling your super damage with our only exotic chest piece and one artifact perk. So for our weapon of choice, we are going to use our this season's Raise Rifle exotic weapon, that's Lodestar, because of one reason, it has the primary ammo and also it has the capability of inflicting jolt. So the primary ammo weapon inflicting jolt is actually massive for this build. So for kinetic slot, you can go with strand weapon. I'd say you can go with the previous season's rocket sidearm. And for heavy weapon, it's completely your choice. You can go with either stand weapon or you can also go with arc weapon. I'd say you can go with arc weapon because it makes easy for creating more arcs of power. So this is our weapons of choice. So coming to artifact perk, this is our major part. So in first column, you can use depending on what type of content you are playing. And for the second slot, must and should artifact perk is first one is the overclock and load, because we are going to use arc weapons. It's going to benefit a lot. The next one is you can go with unraveling ops because we are having stand weapons here in our build. That's what makes going for unraveling ops. So coming to third column, we're going to use dielectric because we will be applying jolt 24/7. So whenever we kill that jolted enemy or blinded enemy, we're gonna grant bolt charge, which plays a huge role in dealing damage and as well as our survivability. Now this artifact perk is actually optional. If you're using call with slice perk in that, so basically if you use a class ability, then you will have ability to sever targets because of the slice perk. So in case if you are using that, you can also go with photonic flare because you sever the target and you finish them with a trace rifle or any arc abilities or a arc weapon in the heavy slot. Basically that creates a blinding explosion which can also play a huge part in our surviving. So guys, if you do not have the call sidearm or with perk specially as the slice, there's no problem at all. You can follow me for the further artifacts. That would also be enough for you. Now coming to the fourth column, the most important perk is flashover. So upon granting 10 stacks of bolt charge, will also become amplified and bolt charge also deals extra damage. So this perk is must ensured in our fourth column. And finally, coming to our fifth column, defibrillating blast is one of the most important perk of surviving, because whenever you stun a champion, there's basically an hour bolt which heals you. And finally, last but not the least, we're gonna go with limit break, as I told earlier. Now, for the remaining artifacts, you can go as per your build. Like I said, if you are having the call with the specific perks, you can go with severing your artifact perk, which works pretty well with this build, which actually adds extra survivability. There's not a problem if you guys do not have that particular perk or that particular weapon. You can go with perks which actually suits your build. So these are some major artifact perks that I told must and should include in your build. So now coming to the grenade of choice, I can give you two choices here. You can go with flashbang grenade or you can go with storm grenade, depending on the type of content you guys are playing. So if you guys are having hard time facing unstoppable champions, you can go with flashbang grenade. Else you can go with storm grenade. So for melee, you can go with the melee ability which has the least cooldown. And for the flash ability, we are gonna use Gambler's Dot, because it refunds our melee ability. Because the melee ability is what will makes us survive in the hard times. Okay, now coming to the aspects. I know a lot of people like to go with Ascension, but I like to say you can go with Tempest Strike, because of the second perk which Tempest Strike gives. That is upon clearing a jolted enemy kill, which grants us bolt charge. If we have 10 stacks of bolt charge, we will get amplified, and also that basically triggers an R bolt which heals you. This directly plays into your damage phase as well as your survivability phase. So this is not available in Ascension. So that's the reason I like to go with Tempest Strike. So one more core thing of using Tempest Strike is, after performing and after inflicting Jolt, it also grants us 75% damage resistance against combatants for 4 seconds. So this is what will make you survive in the harder content, this Tempest Strike. So your combo must be like, you must frequently trigger your melee, get those damage resistance, get those jolted kills, trigger the 10 stacks bolt charge, trigger the damage, and the loot goes on. Now for the second aspect, we're gonna go with flow state. Upon getting the jolted enemy kill, we basically become amplified. While we are amplified, we gain 200% additional flash ability regeneration. So what it does is, you basically use your melee and again dodge, you get your melee back, and again get the jolted, at least you get one jolted enemy kill. Then for around I believe 6 to 8 seconds, your dodge is back because of your amplified. So this is the loop of your gameplay. So that's the reason flow state is must ensure, and the Tempest Strike. So for the stats, I like to say you can go with 100 resilience because of the damage resistance, and then you can aim for 50 mobility, because you will always be amplified in the battlefield. There's no reason going for extra 50, because while you are amplified, you will get extra 50 mobility. That's the reason I'm saying go for 50 mobility, because you will have a dodge faster. If you have a dodge faster, you will have melee faster. If you have melee faster, then you will have a good time in surviving the harder content because of the damage resistance, and as well as getting the jolted kill and triggering the bolt charge. So for our fragments, we are going with Spark of Resistance, because it gives us extra 25% damage resistance. It boosts a lot in our surviving in our harder content. Next I like to say going with the Spark of Ion, since we will be getting jolted enemy kills or bolt charge kills. So what it does is, killing a jolted enemy or bolt charge kills, it basically spawns an ionic trace. So next we are gonna go with Spark of Discharge. Upon getting arc weapon kills, that basically spawns an ionic trace. So the next interesting perk is if you pick an ionic trace, you basically also get a stack of gold charge. That's pretty good. It perfectly syncs with our build. And finally, we're gonna go with spark of frequency. While we are amplified, all the source of gold charge we receive is actually doubled. Now this completes our build section. So if you guys are having any queries, please do let me know in the comment section. I'll make sure I'll reply almost all of them. So do try this build and do let me know how did it work for you. Until then, stay safe. Thanks. Bye bye.